What would you do if you knew that you couldn't fail? What if there really is only one thing standing between you and the life you want to live? I want to show you how one change in my mindset immediately changed my whole life. What is that change? I can't tell you that now. You'll click off the video and that'll hurt my feelings. I know exactly how it feels to be stuck. I know how it feels when nothing seems to be going to plan and no matter what you do, you just cannot catch a break. Maybe you recently hit an insurmountable obstacle and you feel like a failure. Maybe you see how far you still have to go to get to where you want to be and you feel overwhelmed at the distance you still need to climb. Or maybe you failed before and now you're avoiding trying again because of it. I know exactly how that feels because I have been doing nothing but describing myself thus far. Sometimes it feels like everyone else is so much further ahead and you just cannot seem to catch up. So you work 16-hour days and all you get is burned out. One night I caught myself, again, 3 hours deep in YouTube Shorts or Instagram or whatever it was. Phone hot in my hand, zero progress made on anything that actually mattered. I didn't know how I was going to do everything I needed to do, so I ended up doing absolutely nothing. I couldn't take it anymore. The more I scrolled, the worse I felt. The worse I felt, the more I scrolled. The cycle needed to end. So I locked the phone, set it face down and told myself, something has to change. 10 seconds later, I was deep in the throes of anxiety. Heart racing, scared out of my mind, and I just kept asking myself, okay, but what do I actually do right now? I had the dream. I knew where the finish line was supposed to be, but those first steps felt completely impossible. Over the coming days, I kept asking myself, what should I do? How do I go from where I am to where I want to be? Because all I could see was how far I had to go, and I kept feeling like if I'm not making enough progress every day to really make a dent in the amount of work that I was supposed to be doing, I was never going to get to where I needed to get. The problem was that I saw the mountain in front of me, and even though I knew exactly where I wanted to be, I had absolutely no idea how to get there. This is where I think you are. The problem we run into when we want to change our lives is that we rarely have the cash flow needed to make it happen. You want to lose weight? Pay a gym subscription. You want a better guitar sound? Buy expensive gear. You want to make YouTube videos? Buy an expensive camera, lighting, software, get friends to film you, do interesting things that look good on video. The list of things you need for any given change in your life is near endless and very rarely cheap. Honestly speaking, you would be very surprised how far you can get with just some ingenuity and honestly just a roll of duct tape. Very often we fall into the gear acquisition syndrome trap of, oh no, but I couldn't possibly do this because I don't have everything that I need to, make this work. And I know it's very easy for me to say, with my fancy camera and my very fancy computer, which I've got neither of. I am honestly just trying to make whatever I have work. When I first started filming videos, I filmed them on my phone and on my cheap GoPro that I had because that's all I had to work with. I didn't have the money to go out and buy a expensive creator studio. So honestly speaking, as much as, if you want to race cars or something like that, then you're probably going to need to buy a car. But if you want to lose weight, you could go for a run. You could do sit-ups in your living room. If you want to make music, there are an unbelievable amount of free tools and things out there that you can use. Even though they won't be as fancy or as nice as the paid stuff, I very much think that if you really wanted to do something, you would find a way around the startup cost of it. It is kind of just that simple. This is the natural resistance of things. But it's also not always financial. Sometimes it's time. Maybe you work 60-hour weeks and you don't feel like you have time to write your magnum opus. Maybe you feel like 30 minutes a day is not enough time to make meaningful progress. Just take one step every day. Don't get lost in the panic of the road ahead of you. All you have to do is take small decisive steps on the road to where you want to be. It's easy to get overwhelmed when all you can see is how far you still need to go. But if you tell yourself, just one small step today and I'm done, it makes it a lot easier not to get overwhelmed and make consistent progress. It really doesn't have to be complicated. I know that sometimes it feels like progress is a bit slow, but all you're going to get if you try and climb the whole mountain in one day is burnout. Trust me that burnout will cost you way more time than taking smaller steps every day. It's only the things that we didn't do that we regret in the end. Trying and failing will always hurt less in the end than failing to even try. We all know what it feels like to be stuck. And when you just take one small step towards what you want every day, you will never truly be stuck again. There will always be something small that you can do to just get you a little bit further, even if you're winning inches and not yards. If you do nothing, nothing is going to change. In a year, you will be sitting on that couch, still scrolling, wishing you were further along. Even if you take the smallest baby steps you can, in a year you will be surprised at how far you've come, and perhaps the peak you're moving towards will not just seem like some dream anymore.
I'll get all of that in. Just that.
This mindset has changed my life, almost immediately. And I mean, I haven't achieved all of my dreams, but I'm so much further along the path than the me who started it almost 2 years ago. Back then, I couldn't have hoped to have attempted the things I have since accomplished. And really, all of that started with one small step, and then another, and then another. Some days I take 3 steps, other days I only take 1. But every day I get a little bit closer to the top of that mountain. When it comes down to it, there will always be pain. Pain will be one of the few constants in your life. The only choice you get to make is what kind of pain you want to deal with. You either deal with the pain of progress and personal growth, or you deal with the pain of regret and stagnation. Take one small step forward, even if it's a bit shaky or it doesn't feel like it's going to make much of a difference. The beauty of consistency is that it amounts to unbelievable results before you know it. Take those first few shaky steps and go and create something truly amazing this week. I really hope that shot was worth it, otherwise we climbed this entire mountain for nothing.